imagine if she got hold of some of that. She wouldn't even have to season anything and put anything in any oven. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, Leilani of Barbados. Yes, I am back here to talk to you. I think I teased a little bit about it on my shorts. We are going to discuss the crazy poison mushroom Australian lady. And I would like to ask all my Aussie subbies, please tell me what is going on with her. Is she really just a suspect that's not been arrested, not been detained? Like, what is really going on? Anyway, we're going to talk about that whole story. We're going to also talk about Priyanka Chopra a little bit, my bestie from Miss World, and the cringe posts that she's doing and the comments about those posts because they're hilarious. And then, of course, we're going to talk about our favorite couple of the year, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, and just what is really going on with their PR machine. So buckle in and get ready for the ride. I've just come back from a parent-teachers association meeting, and let me tell you, I was side-eyeing all the other moms there because this lady, Erin Patterson from Victoria, Australia, is just a regular mom of two. She looks regular. She does not look like a supervillain. You know, she looks soft and sweet and pudgy and like very huggable. Do you know what I mean? So you really have to wonder what happened. This lovely mother of two decided to invite all of her ex-family members all exes, right, over for a family luncheon where she was going to serve beef Wellington. Except the beef Wellington was going to have death cap mushrooms, which are the most poisonous mushrooms in the world, and they will basically kill you within 24 hours. And you know how beef Wellington has that lovely buttery pastry, then it has the mushroom with sauce, and then it has the filet. Well, I would argue that if you ever wanted to make sure somebody ate mushrooms because they might not quite like mushrooms or they're not sure about mushrooms, the best way to get them to eat mushrooms is a beef Wellington, because the mushrooms are almost disguised in the beef Wellington, right? A lot of people don't even know mushrooms are in there. That's the first point. So it kind of didn't give them a choice as to whether to pick them out. I mean, it's all wrapped up tightly. Why were only exes over at her house? Like, why did she have to gather all the ex relatives of hers in one place for this luncheon? I mean, targeted comes to mind. Targeted. So the people who have perished are her mother-in-law, father-in-law, and her mother-in-law's sister. And the mother-in-law's sister's husband is fighting for his life in hospital. He's a pastor. So you might have heard about this pastor. Now, I didn't really understand the connection with the pastor at first. So I thought maybe that was one of those pastors that like say the wrong thing in church and people lose it. I don't know if you remember this meme. It's from Brazil. But I'll show it to you now. So this pastor from Brazil got really mouthy up there and said something about fat women are going to hell or whatever, or not going to heaven. And this woman was having a bit of a hard time mentally and took that very personally and ran up on the stage and pushed him down. But the best part is when she jumps down. Like, this is such a superhero jump. I mean, she was like, "Whoa!" and then runs off into the abyss. And her shirt flies up and it's just a moment. It's a moment. This happened in 2019. So I was thinking maybe Erin Patterson had a little problem with this pastor at some point, why she decided to bring him there to also have these mushrooms. But then I realized there's actually a family connection because his wife is mother-in-law's sister, right? I think it's more like her mother-in-law and mother-in-law's sister were probably mean girls to her at some point. I mean, she has had a divorce. These are ex-in-laws. And then the pastor husband was probably like, you know, God thinks you're not a good person for... Maybe he put in his 2 cents too, and all of these people were really mean to her. And she probably pretended for a very long time that she was okay with them and that they were having an amicable, you know, getting... Some people are just hungry and greedy. You know that? Before these people said, we don't need lunch that badly with her. Erin Patterson does not like these people that she fed these mushrooms to. They're not alive anymore. That's for sure, because they ate her food. Yes! There must be something that goes off in these people's minds that's like, well, I probably shouldn't eat from her. because at some point in life, we probably didn't get along. I don't think the ex-in-laws and her got along. So they had a problem, and she's held up that problem up on her chest, as we say, all this time. Now, Erin Patterson has 2 young children that also did not enjoy the food, because she didn't eat the food either, right? That's why she's alive. But to me, like, the only thing that is in common between Erin and the in-laws is the grandchildren. So, like, why weren't the grandchildren part of the luncheon? Like, that's exactly the time for them to be part of the luncheon, but they weren't, because she didn't want to poison her kids. So she sent them off to do something else and eat something else. She also did not eat the beef Wellington, which kind of confuses me, because I've had dinner parties and I love to hear what people think of the food while I'm also eating the food. And I just wonder if she was like taking compliments. Like, I wonder if they were like, oh my God, this is so good, but these mushrooms are tasty. And she was just like I just all these scenes are going on in my head, because I just can't imagine sitting there watching people get poisoned. It is such a crazy way to poison them. Okay, I think it goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. Toxins in death cap mushrooms cannot be destroyed by boiling, cooking, freezing, or drying, and eating only a small portion can lead to death. I know she's in a small town and probably doesn't have access to like the poison the Russians are using or the poison that the North Koreans are using, where you just... You remember that guy? He was like the brother of Kim Jong-il or whatever, and they got some woman to come just blow something on him and he was like dead instantly, like in his tracks, like just dead. Imagine if she got hold of some of that. She wouldn't even have to season anything and put anything in any oven. I mean, she really went through a lot of effort. Apparently, she even dehydrated the mushrooms, because in this report, it says that she threw out the dehydration machine. I think she threw it out because it would have had remnants of the mushrooms that she dehydrated in there. But according to Erin Patterson, she threw out the dehydration machine because her husband saw it in the kitchen and asked her, is that what you used to poison them? So it says she also confirmed media speculation that she took a food dehydrator to a dump, admitting she had lied to investigators when she initially told them that she had thrown it out a long time before. Girl, it's a lot. By the way, he didn't go to luncheon because he's got sick so many times from her food, so he didn't go. I think she's in such a delusional mental episode right now that the lies are just like she has no control over them anymore. For example, this gem, Patterson. She wrote that her 2 children had not been at the lunch, but that she had served them leftover beef Wellington the following day, after scraping off the mushrooms because the children did not like them. Well, we know that's a damn lie, because we know that even a morsel of the death cap mushroom can lead to death. And I don't know how old her children are, but their body weight would dictate to me that they will just die, even if a little bit of gravy got in their mouths. Why would she dehydrate the mushrooms, you wonder? Well, apparently, contrary to what she's trying to say, because she's trying to say that these mushrooms were readily available in farmers markets and supermarkets and so on. Apparently, these mushrooms are so impossible to find that they only grow in the wild. So when you find them, I think she might have dehydrated it just to like keep it longer. Instead of it going bad, she probably dehydrated it so she could keep it and continue to work with the product, if you know what I mean. I also think this was not the very first time that she had poisoned. Well, we know it's not the first time, because her ex-husband, who also kept trying to get free food and kept eating her food, was constantly getting sick from her. So I think she was microdosing him or trying to see what the correct dosage would be, and unfortunately it didn't for her. She couldn't get it right with him, but she finally got it right. Okay, so according to this article, apart from admitting to investigators that she lied about throwing away the dehydration machine, she doesn't say very much apart from a written statement where she's saying that she's devastated. So that's all I could really see. Hold on a minute. Oh, okay. Well, they rocked up at her house, it looks like. She's outside a car. Let's look at this. It's a tragedy what's happened.
Can you tell us about the meal that you cooked?
I'm so devastated by what's happened, by the loss of Don. Don is still in hospital, the loss of Ian and Heather and Gail.
So they ask her here, I'm going to dissect this. You know that, right? They ask her,
can you tell us about the meal that you cooked?
And she immediately starts talking about like, and this person's perished and that person's perished. And it's almost like she's tallying her score. I can see it that way because she's like, oh, and this other person has perished. No, actually they haven't. They're still fighting for their life. Okay, so I got 3. I'm still waiting for the 4th one. That's not what the question was. Why is she talking about her death cap score, if you will?
They were some of the best people that I've ever met. Gail was like...
Take your time.
Gail was the mum that I didn't have because my mum passed away 4 years ago. And Gail's never been anything but good and kind.
She's wiping no eye water from her eyes at this point. But she's also referencing her mother's death. She's completely distracting from the situation. Your mother's one person. I'm very sorry for her death, Erin Patterson. But you've just killed almost 4 people. So 3.5 people. By the way, 4 years ago, my mother died. Like she's trying to invoke sorrow within herself. Trying to conjure up the tears from her mother's actual death, which probably did make her quite sad.
To me. And Ian and Heather were some of the best people I've ever met. They never did anything wrong to me, and I'm so...
They never did anything wrong to you. Who asked? I would wager, if I was a betting woman, that they probably did something wrong to her. How about that? They are, after all, her ex-in-laws. And her husband is estranged. People out there, do not bring people into your house. I think that's what happened to Dan Wooten with his incident where an ex was looking after his dogs while he was over in New Zealand visiting his family, and that ex decided to dig up into his personal things and found things that he should not have found. Why are you bringing exes into your house? And why are you as exes going into the enemy's house? It's a tale as old as time. It's a recipe for disaster. No pun intended. She's looking.
devastated about what's happened.
Can you tell us
And
a
the
bit?
loss to the community. And to the families. And to my own children who've lost their grandmother.
So why didn't they spend the day with their grandmother when the grandmother was there eating your food?
Can you tell us a bit more about the lunch?
She's trying to squeeze out the...
What I can tell you is that I just can't fathom what has happened. I just can't fathom.
What? Okay, how about, did you have an appetizer? Mushroom soup?
What has happened? That Ian and Heather have lost their lives, and Gail has lost her life, and Donna's still in hospital, and I pray.
For her to keep repeating, it's almost like she's enjoying talking about the death of these people, which is super villainous of her.
I pray that he pulls through, because my children love him.
I mean, do they?
And you must be pretty shaken up by this as well.
Yeah.
I'm devastated.
Yeah.
I love them. And I can't believe that this has happened, and I'm so sorry that they have lost their lives.
How are you
And I
kids?
just can't believe it.
Is this for real?
Just can't believe it.
Is she for real right now?
Can you tell us where the mushrooms came from?
Okay, that's so fake. That mushroom.
Were they picked from the property area?
I just ask you to leave me alone now, please.
Police say you're a suspect. Do you have anything to say about
Yes,
that?
I say I didn't do anything. I love them. And I'm devastated that they're gone. And I hope with every fibre of my being that Don pulls through. That's
Where
what I
did the
have to
mushrooms
say.
come from? Were they picked by you, or where did they come from?
You see?
Can you tell
He's
us?
asking about the mushrooms and where they came from and if they were picked by her,
What meal
because
did you cook
it's
them?
very unusual to have these mushrooms in the first place.
Did you eat the same meal? then?
Valid question. I would have also wanted to know what the recipe was, because those mushrooms can't taste good. She must have had some serious seasoning inside that just for it to like disguise the taste. I just can't imagine poisonous. I don't know. We don't know. There's no one to ask how the mushrooms tasted, so sorry. This is not Midsummer Murders, Nathan Hersey, the mayor of South Gippsland, said in an interview. It kind of is, though. Literally 4 people have died at the same time. Let's call it 4 because I don't know how this man's going to survive. This is real people's lives. Yes, of course we know that. Why do people say... I never understand why people say that. It goes without saying. This is real people's not lives because they don't have them anymore. Like, if she doesn't want people coming and asking her these questions, just detain her and ask her the questions and hold her for her own safety and her own, sanity, really, which I think was lost a long time ago, to be honest. But it is what it is. There's another video, so get ready. I have not seen these videos, okay? So this is highly entertaining for me. I'm sorry.
Right. You still to do to that.
So what I had to say yesterday, what happened is devastating. And I'm breathing.
This devastating word that she keeps using, it's very psychotic that she just keeps repeating the same thing. Also, where does she keep going? Where are you going? The way, all the farmers in the area and all the people who have grocery stores and whatnot have completely disavowed her. They have said, we do not know this woman. The Association of Mushrooms of Australia literally was like, we don't sell those at all. So there's nowhere she could have procured them. She's trying to say there are two different types of mushrooms that she used and both can be procured in supermarkets or like stalls or whatever. They're like, ain't no way that you got this mushroom in our stall. Okay, well, some breaking news has just come out. Vic mushroom deaths claim Erin Patterson, very good fungi forager. Therefore, she would not have had to be going to any supermarkets or anywhere. She gets them on her own with her two hands. Even more breaking news, woman who rustled up deadly beef Wellington lunch that killed her in-laws had a collection of mushroom books. Erin Patterson kept the collection of books, which includes recipes featuring potentially dangerous fungi. The 48-year-old had invited her ex-husband Simon Patterson to their former shared home for a reconciliation lunch with his parents. I told y'all, but y'all will not listen to me. This had to be some kind of we did not like each other and now we're going to try to be fake and pretend to be friends again. Oh my goodness, look at that. Wow, this story is still developing, and guess what? There is even darker news coming up. Stay tuned.
So you guys don't have any respect for that.
We just need to try and understand more. Absolutely. We just need to understand more.
The audio is quite bad on this, but she's saying that the reporters have no consent for being on her private property.
What was the served on that day?
Erin, we just want to know what you told the police.
Have you had any further contact today?
You don't have any permission to be on my private property or to harass me. This kind of behaviour will send someone to drive off a bridge.
Oh, okay. She's saying they have no right to harass her because this kind of behavior will send somebody off the bridge. She's quite morbid in her thoughts, if you notice, right? I mean, say what? Why do you... Don't bring up death.
What you seem to be doing.
You spoke yesterday about your relationship. Can you tell us if you have any further updates today how Ian's going?
Erin, how are you going? Are you okay?
I'm going for asking. You guys aren't helping.
Look at their faces, the reporters. So when they ask about her, she gets very emotional now. She's like, I'm actually doing quite beep, 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 beep. Thanks for asking. All of a sudden, she has a lot of sass when it comes to her, because obviously there are narcissistic qualities there that led her to be involved in this situation. And anyway, I just find it absolutely intriguing. It is very dark, but I just wanted to know if any of you, my Aussie subbies, if any of you out there know what is really going on with this or what the take in Australia is. What is the take on this woman and how is she able to just walk the streets, get in her car? I mean, she could be... She could be literally procuring more mushrooms. Like, she could have actually got in her bag right now some more mushrooms right now. Why is she just out there doing this? There must be more in-laws that may want to be very greedy and hungry belly as well and come and eat her food. But I hope not. I think maybe everyone's learned their lesson. I think we're going to move on now to my lovely Priyanka Chopra, my BFF from Miss World, who used me as a coat hanger when I sat next to her on the plane during Miss World. And it was a whole thing, and people popped off about it because I think that people know in India, Priyanka has been annoying. It seems Priyanka Chopra also dropped me to become best friends with Meghan Markle. And I think that's how we got to know her a little bit more, isn't it? But here she is, definitely annoying. Hello Magazine Canada has reported that Priyanka Chopra put up a post saying, "You are a magnet, Nick Jonas." Oh, that's his name. I didn't know which Jonas it was that she married, to be very honest with you.
You are a magnet, Nick Jonas, and MM,
I guess that's the name of her child.
and I are so lucky to have you. Congratulations on the start of an incredible tour. You're all in for a huge ride. Let's go. Great job, JB team and the band and the crew. The show was seamless and awe-inspiring. Round 2 tonight.
The comments are crazy. I don't believe she actually attracted to him. And the replies to that comment were, yeah, she probably care more about security, both financially, generationally, and feel like she's the smarter, wiser one, lol. They really seem kind of fake, like mismatched, sort of. We know some other couples like that, don't we? The other comment was really interesting. Stop by children, because, you know, she had a surrogate, and at one point people were suspecting that her and Meghan were sharing surrogates. It was wild. It was wild out in these streets. Stop buying children. You know, Priyanka, lay low, girl. We know. We all know. Speaking of cringe, we have these two comedians that sat down and decided to talk about Meghan and Harry, and I just thought it was really hilarious, so I wanted to share it with you.
Harry and Meghan went out to dinner last night for her birthday.
Meghan?
In Montecito.
Oh, that's up by you.
Let's go out, Harry. I want to go out.
Which one's that, Meghan or Harry?
It's Meghan.
Oh.
Harry, I want to go out, Harry.
Okay, Meghan.
He's like, yes, Mommy.
Hey.
We're going to go to a restaurant.
Are we going to Peggers?
And order all kinds of appetizers. Harry. Shh.
That's her again.
The paparazzi will be there, Harry. I'm wearing my form-fitting striped dress. And I'll wear a sweater. Shut up, you ginger fool.
Well, you won't get pegged.
Let me tell you something. This is my real voice. You make me sick. With that orange mop top of yours and your squeaky voice, you are a spare.
I would have f***ed every gaffer on Suits over you.
And believe me, I had my share of gaffers. I'm Meghan Markle, and this is the real me. I ate 'em up. I took down a few grips first.
I like crew wiener. You like to hear that?
Mommy, I don't know how you Americans talk. Crewiness sounds funny. Let's have a barbecue.
No, it's a cut down, you You don't get it. Go get pegged.
I don't know where to start. So I bleeped out the curse words, obviously, but when they say grips, they're talking about like the grip man, the sound man, the crew on set, that Meghan would have been having relations with them and just putting him down and putting him in a submissive position. He is obviously calling her mommy, so this is all it's quite crass, huh?
You want to help me find my nuts?
Very tempting, Hammy. Very tempting.
But yeah, these are very famous comedians from what I can recognize, and they are talking about Meghan Markle too and making fun of her. Her idea of trying to make people take her seriously is obviously failing, and that is where we get to her PR stunts. I just wanted to cover that quickly. You know, Meghan has signed with WME, which is a huge agency. WME even represents Drake. WME is going to help Meghan Markle get back on Instagram and social media. There have even been rumors that this is her Instagram account. As you can see, it has no posts, but it seems to be collecting followers. We do not have confirmation that that is even her account. She's probably just doing some social engineering testing to see how many people will join. I just think she's wasting people's time. What doesn't waste time is to subscribe to my Instagram account, because I just got officially verified by Instagram. And if you want to see more about my personal life, I put it on my Instagram. So please follow me on Instagram if you have an Instagram account. The link is in the description of this video as well, if you want to just click straight over there. Shameless plug, thank you. But then I saw this publication which said, look at these figures which were only for July. Can you imagine how much it is costing them? There is seriously something wrong with her mentally. Obsession plays a significant part in narcissism, but this is off the charts mental illness. Prince Harry and Meghan are not making appearances or statements, and yet in July 2023 we had 100 plus articles in the Express, 90 plus articles in the Sun, 90 plus articles in the Mirror, 60 plus in Newsweek, 30 Mail, and you can see page 6 and it goes down New York Post, which is definitely biased towards Meghan. Odd thing is that her squaddies believe this is all organic. They really are not very bright, or they are, and they're just paid to pretend to believe it. Oh, by the way, thank you. I saw in the comments that it was a dentist's office that she went to when she did her pap walk, not a marriage counseling office. She has veneers, so I investigated that a little bit, and I found out that veneers have to be redone, especially if they haven't been done at the top tier. Top tier veneers can cost $90,000. Here is the American rapper Lil Yachty, who paid $90,000 in Atlanta, Georgia, United States for his veneers. If she hasn't got them done at the top tier, which I imagine when she first started getting them done, it may not in or whatever. Anyway, they have to be redone. They break off, they fall out, and underneath are spikes. So whilst Harry is off with his bromance, it's a very good time for him to not see her as something like this tribe in Africa. So she has decided to get the dental work done while he's away. Makes sense to me. Much more sense in the marriage counseling without your partner, right? So thank you for clearing that up for me, and it does make more sense. So she will be getting new chompers soon.
It's a new world, and it's new teeth.
But yeah, thank you so much for watching me. The sale on my slippers has been extended. So many of you have purchased the slippers and found them so comfortable that you want to order them for your friends and family. So I have extended the sale until the 30th of August. So you have the rest of the month to purchase the slippers. I can't believe I'm giving my feet away for free. People charge for that. Did you know that? Oh my goodness. Anyway, the website link is down in the description. Please, if you haven't subscribed, press the bell notification, subscribe to my channel. And also, if you like this video, give a thumbs up. And if you want me to do more stories that involve women like us and me and... but no, not me though. I'm not like that though. Hold on. Sorry. I don't even like mushrooms. But if you want me to do more stories that are quite fascinating and international stories, please let me know because I enjoy doing it. And we're going to continue to follow this story. Like this is not the last. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching me. I love you so much. And you know that. Please stay in touch. Love you.
Bye.
Please subscribe to Valentine's Playroom. It's my son's children channel. So if you have any bambinos around who might enjoy adventures with an island boy, share his channel with them, please. Thank you.